What's good, everyone? It's Adam from My Music Mobile. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we're gonna go ahead and break down Burna Boy's For My Hand featuring Ed Sheeran. So let's get straight to it. All right, so the BPM for this one is 104 beats per minute and it is recorded in A major. Let's start off with the intro bit, which carries the pad sound that you hear throughout the entire record. It just loops itself. It is 4 chords and it sounds like this. So the chords look like this. So for the first sound, we're using an instance of Alchemy, and we're using the Alone preset found under the pads analogs category, and it just sounds like this on its own. That carries the foundation to this pad sound. And then we have another sound to layer it up to add in some of the top layers to it. It's a little bit higher pitch, it's an octave up. And for this, I'm using an instance of Retro Synth, the dark background pad preset. And when you layer those two together, you get a nice low section and a high section together. So to make this pad nice and full and wide, what I did here was I panned over the lower octave stuff over to the left a little bit here. And this higher stuff over here, panned it over to the right. So instead of using a widener plugin just to make the sound wide, it's a lot better and a lot cleaner if you just pan the instruments to get a better stereo image. And then to layer it up, there's a sound that's going down the middle. It's sort of like a keyboard type of sound. It sounds like this. Same chords. And that's just giving the pluck keyboard sound that you need in this pad. And for that sound, I'm using Logic's Retro Synth and just the default setting that loads up. I just rolled off the cutoff here a bit. Now all that together, it sounds like this. And then lastly, before we move forward on these pads, I also added in some texture to it. So over here, I added an instance of Wavy. And what I did here was I added in a little bit of Space A and Vivid just to give it like a shimmering reverb sound to the top end, sort of like have it sparkle a bit. So this is what it sounds like with it off. And then with it on. See how it adds like another layer to it. It makes it fuller sounding. All right, next up, we're gonna go over to the next section over here. And we're gonna get into some of the drums, and there's lots of drums. So the first thing we get here is this sort of snare perk sound. And I layered that with 2 different types of sounds. So this one right here. And this one right here. And that sort of drives the entire groove pattern to this drum kit. And then we have this over here. It's a high tom pattern or a tom pattern. Looks like this. And to create that sound, I used Logic's drum synth over here and just created and designed one from scratch. I pulled up the percussion setting over here, pulled up the tight tom, and then just manipulated some of the settings here just to give it that sound that I was looking for. It has that Afro beats type of sound. All right, next we have a shaker over here. And then we have a wood block. Then we have an open hat. And then we have like a hi-hat pattern here that's going to give us some ear candy. All right, and then you have one of these, another shaker type thing. Another shaker loop that I found in Logic's loop browser over here called Remix African Shaker. And I just used it to fill out this loop. And then at the end of this section, we get 2 claps. So all these drums together sound like this. All right, moving on to the next 4 bars, we get another instrument pulled into here, and it is a log drum, and it sounds like this. And that just rolls us into the next section. So we go from this. And then we come into our kick pattern, which is here. We get 2 patterns. This is one of them right here. Now for this kick, and in this genre of music, you want the kicks to be very punchy and clean. So what I did on the kick sample over here, I just made it very tight. So this is what the kick would sound like if I didn't apply this sort of envelope shape to it. It's very fat and meaty, but I wanted this to be very sort of quick and very pointed. So I pulled back this here and just gave it a shape like this. It's just a very clean and punchy kick. And it really punches through the mix. All right, and then we get into sort of the second half of the chorus. The new kick pattern comes into play right here. And then we get this lead type of sound here. It is a flute sound. So for this sound, I use a preset from the Mogul presets kit called Drake Portland Flute. It is like a flute type of sound, but to give it that sort of pumping effect type of sound, I used an instance of Duck Out, pulled it onto the pump mode shape 1, just maxed it out so we get this pumping sound every time the note hits. It kind of goes like this. And that's pretty much the beat. It just loops itself after that. So let's go ahead and take a listen to it from the top. All right, so there's the beat right there, remade in Logic Pro. This is one of those cases where the beat is really simple, and once the vocals come on top, it just takes it to a whole another level. For your Logic users, I will place this session for you guys down below this video if you do want to jump into this session and sort of take a look at it at your own time, at your own pace. Link will be down in the description box below this video. I'll also include a play pack. If you don't use Logic, it will include all the mini stems, the loops, and the drum kit as well. Link will be down below the like button as well. If you do have any questions on this or just want to chat, let's go and talk in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.